Welcome! In this tutorial, we will learn how to use the Gantt chart functionality in CrossConcept Continuum. A Gantt chart is one of the most popular and useful ways of showing activities like tasks or events displayed against time. From the left menu, we go into Projects, and under the Project Management group, we select Projects. The Manage Projects screen opens, displaying the list of projects which we have access to. If we are a project manager or project editor, we will be able to access the Gantt chart of each project by clicking this icon located under the Action column. Another way to access the Gantt chart is by clicking the same icon located at the top right of the project profile. The Gantt chart opens in a separate screen. The left side displays a grid with the tasks breakdown, and the right side displays a suitable time scale at the top. Each task is represented by a bar, and the position and length of the bar reflects the start date, duration, and end date of the task. Let's explore first the left side of the Gantt chart. The grid displays several columns including the task name, the task status, the planned start date, the planned finish date, the planned hours, the actual hours, and the assigned resources. The first row appears in a bigger font and bold, representing the project itself. This row is not editable since all these values will be calculated based on the information we enter under its associated tasks. A project can have parent tasks and child tasks, which will be conforming the actual work breakdown structure. To expand and collapse this full structure, we can click the Expand All or Collapse All button at the top. To create a new task, we have several options related to the Add Task button. If the project row is selected, and then we click Add Task, the new task will appear at the bottom of the grid. If one of the existing tasks is selected, and then we click Add Task, the button will give us the option to create the new task above or below the selected task, or to create a child task other than the selected task. If we select Add Child, the existing task becomes the parent task, and the new child task appears indented to the right. This means we can collapse and expand this new task group we just created. The Copy Task button has similar options depending on the selection we previously make. If the project row is selected, the Copy Task button is disabled, since this is to be used only to make copies of tasks. If one of the existing tasks is selected and then we click Copy Task, the button will give us the option to create the new task copy above or below, or to create a child task copy under the selected task. If we select Copy Child, the existing task becomes the parent task, and the new child task takes all the values from the parent task, and its name starts with Copy Off. The same Add Task and Copy Task buttons are also available at the bottom of the screen. Once a new task is created, we can start editing its values directly from the grid. We can double-click the task default name and then type a new name. We can also change the status from the default draft to active, inactive, or complete. Please note that once a task is changed from draft to any other status, it will not be possible to go back to the draft status again. We can also update the planned start, the planned finish, and the planned hours. Please note that since this task does not have any resource assignment, we are able to update these values from this grid. However, once a task has resource assignments, we will have to update these values directly from the assignment, and the values will roll up to the task and the project. The actual hours will populate automatically as the assigned resources start tracking actual hours into these tasks. By double-clicking the Assigned Resources column, a filter is displayed to select the resources we want to assign to this task. We can search the resources based on their skills, their access groups, their department, and their resource name. If required, we can also select Planning Resources, which are generic resources created based on a specific function, such as project manager, developer, or trainer. Please note that these entities, such as the skills, the access groups, the departments, and the planning resources, need to be previously configured by the company in the system. In this example, we will select the Resources tab, and we're going to select two of the listed resources. By clicking Save, the selected resources appear listed in the Task Assignment screen. Then we can select them and enter the number of assigned hours. This grid also allows us to review the available hour of these resources, as well as the actual hours. From here, we can update the planned start at the planned finish dates. And for any existing tasks, we can review the remaining hours and the actual percentage of completion. Finally, we can assign a project role to this resource, which has to be previously created by the company in the system. At the top, we have information related to the overall task, including the planned hours, the assigned hours, and the difference between the two. If we want to assign more resources to this task, we can click the Filter button. And to confirm these assignments, we click the Assign button. The interface updates, and now the resources names appear under the Assigned Resources column, with the amount of assigned hours within square brackets. Likewise, the planned start, planned finish, and planned hours roll up from the assignment up to the task and to the project. If we want to delete a task, we can click the X icon located under the Action column. And if we want to access more details about the task, we click this icon to open a Quick Edit dialog box. This screen includes some of the most used options in a task, such as the billable flag, the currency, the billing type, the distribution method, and the default project role. From here, we can also access the Resources Assignment screen, and if we want to access the full profile of the task in a separate screen, we click the Full Profile button. Please note that now that we have some resources assigned in this task, we cannot modify the planned start, planned end, and planned hours in the task itself. We will need to update these values first from the resource assignments, and they will roll up to the task and the project. If we want to have more space to work in the right side of the Gantt chart, we click this icon located at the top left. This will hide all the columns, leaving only the task name visible. The right side of the Gantt chart includes different views depending on the time scale we want to review, such as day, week, month, and quarter. A vertical red line represents the current date in the calendar. Since each bar represents a task, we can also make updates directly from the graphical interface. Please note that the parent tasks are represented with a darker bar and a different shape. We can still add additional tasks if required by using the buttons located at the top left. From the graphical interface, we can click the border of a task and then drag the mouse to extend or reduce its duration. While dragging, the updated start and end dates appear as a reference. By releasing the mouse, the interface updates to reflect the new values. We can also move the task without changing its start and end dates by dragging the actual bar to another location in the calendar. By double-clicking a bar, we can also access the Quick Edit dialog box we already reviewed. The Gantt chart also allows us to create tasks dependencies. For example, we can click and drag the black circle at the end of this task, and release the mouse over the black circle at the start of this other task. The interface refreshes, and now the task's dependency has been created. This means that this task can only start when this other task is concluded. To delete a task dependency, we double-click the dependency line, and then we click Yes in the confirmation message. There is also an option to delete a task directly from the bar by clicking the X icon located at the right side. To save the changes and keep editing the Gantt chart, we click the Apply button. And to save the changes and close the Gantt chart, we click the Save button. To revert any changes we made after the latest saving, we click the Revert button. We hope you find these instructions useful in your work with CrossConcept Continuum. Thank you for watching this tutorial.